For more information on my programs, please visit masajady.com. That's MASSAJADY.com.
Since it is recorded, you can use it any way that you like, but if you disseminate it, you'd have to get permission before you publish it. So for your own personal use, you can use it, but again, contact us before you publish it. So this is an energy update, energy and prediction. Again, what we're going to do, we're going to go over the 21-day design and structure because there are a lot of new people. We're going to go through the 21-day recap, then some testimonials that we've got. Quite amazing. And this actually allows you, there's a lot of reasons why we do the testimonials, not to show off again or anything like that, but allows you to go, hey, if they can do it, whatever challenge that I have, I can get out of it as well. Some of these individuals that have transformed their lives, like stage 4 or 5 cancers and so on, it's quite amazing. If they can do it, why not you? Right? It's open for you. And then the May 21-day forecast, see what's going on with the world out there. And then if we have time, and I'll make time, I'll work on more individuals one-on-one. Okay? Just to help you understand my abilities, to help you understand your abilities, because our abilities are one and the same. I'm just showing you how to open yours up. All right? Let's go ahead and get started. The 21-day design structure. So the 21 days is created twice daily. It's a core frequency work, and what that means is that it is recorded twice. It's not recorded twice. It's recorded twice daily. It is live. It's 9:30 a.m. and p.m. for you. You can listen to the recordings. They're just as powerful if you've been at least on, say, a couple of the recordings, especially the first few, because that's how the mastermind gets created. So as long as you're in that mastermind, then the recordings will be of a higher value for you, right? Because then your frequencies are intermingled into that mastermind. The mastermind, for those individuals who don't know what a mastermind is, the mastermind, anytime 2 or more individuals get connected, there's a third presence that dictates the 2 individuals. A negative mastermind, just for clarity, would be, say, gang mentality. Those individuals that are caught up in a gang, right? There's a higher ruling, say, principle that controls their emotions and what they do, what they do, their behavior patterns. This is where they get like they'd never want to kill somebody, but then they get almost forced by that mastermind personality to do some of the things that you'd never do alone. This is where crowds, soccer stadiums, right? They rush the field, and it's not like one person starts it. Excuse me, it's not like one person starts it. It's like a crowd think, and then everybody rushes the field at once. Okay? This is the same scenario, the mastermind, with birds, right? Or any flocks of whatever, sheep, birds, especially, for example, birds, they're flying one way. There's hundreds of birds, they're flying one way, and then all of a sudden they switch back and forth, or they create beautiful patterns, rhythmic patterns. How does that happen? There's no leader. But why are they in that single-minded space? And that's the mastermind. It connects all those minds together. Okay? Sports teams who are highly connected, they create a mastermind. They know exactly what each other is thinking about. Or successful sports teams, they should be doing that. By the way, if you guys, it seems like Somebody might be a coach or something like that. If you need help with your team, I can help you with that, creating that sports mind mastermind. In this scenario, 21 days, it's a different scenario. It's a takeoff of the mastermind. But what this is really about is that, yes, we all get connected together, right? We create that frequency, but I help filter out the distorted frequencies of who we are, again, just like gang mentality and so on like that, or crowd mentality, and then I push you up into your higher level of who you are. So it's a pure, more concentrated essence of who you truly are. So I force you up into that space of being surrounded, and that's what you feel. It's part of the frequencies that I generate for you. That is what you're feeling when I work on you, or when I say I generate frequencies that help you shift. Okay, part of that mastermind, and that's how I connect. I can also help people, say loved ones, that you bring in. So I can work on people through you, through that same, say, system, right? Because we're all interconnected at some level. But as a note, don't bring in like 10, 20, 30 people around you. I want to bring my whole family, my whole generation. Don't do that, because it waters it down for you. Right? Not necessarily me, but for you. So just bring in maybe 1 or 2 individuals in, if you want to. I highly recommend not to, but it's up to you. You know, maybe your kids or your spouse, right? Whoever you want the journey to be with. So twice a day, so the core frequencies that I generate, that you might be wondering, well, what are those frequencies? Those aren't my frequencies, by the way. Most individuals who generate frequencies, one, they're not at the level that I generate, okay? Just because they're more physical-based frequencies. So there's the, I'll give you an example. So the base layer, and I'll give you a health example. This is where surgeries, medication, exercise, foods, and so on, right? You try to get healthier doing those things. The second layer, which dictates what happens on that first layer, this is where energy comes in, chakras, auras, the frequencies that scientists have been able to sense through instruments. Your heart, your brain sends out a frequency about 6 feet around you, but actually about 3 feet around you, 6 feet diameter, all the way around you. Okay? Those are the physical things. Chakras, auras, psychic abilities, intuition, right? Energy medicines, machines that create energy for you, those sound, like binaural beats, all those things. Those things are at this level, right? When you think of someone at this level. So, and then a couple bridges layer, 3 or 4, it's a bridge layer. Right? It's a transition of physical realities and then into your core level programming, or if you want to call it spirit level. You can call it that. I call it your source code. This is your blueprint of how your life works. If you can't change the blueprint, and this is where I change or edit your profile of who you think you are. So it's your handbook on how your life runs. It's got everything that you could possibly think of who you are is dictated by, say, that code, that source code, or a handbook, if you'd like it, if it's a better example for you. Right? It'll tell you exactly. It's like, well, you go to the chapter about marriage, for example. It'll tell you exactly the type of relationship you'll have and so on like that. It's all been written down for you. These are all pre-programmed, right? Because they have to have a default program in there for you. Otherwise, you would not run. And these programs, we're not awake. By the way, when we come into our physical form, that's why we have the distorted life. We'd never choose a distorted life the way we have if we were awakened. Most people go, well, I chose this life. Well, you kind of did by not knowing there was any other choice. Right? But if you were an awakened being, spirit level, say, choosing a life, would you choose the life that you chose? And I say this because I'm just reading you, and there's a lot of spiritual misnomers, a lot of religious biases that distort, just because, again, not knocking anything down, but they just don't understand the deeper level of why things happen, so they have to make it some spiritual or religious dogma, maybe not dogma, but, something spiritual or religious that sounds cool, but then it leaves you wondering, it's like, well, what the hell do I do then? Right? So this is about actually changing your handbook, and this is what I do. Change your handbook, and this is where your life starts to be different. Let's go ahead and take a nice, strong, deep breath in, and then I'll just continue to work on you since you guys are feeling the frequencies anyway. Alrighty, there we go. So that's the basis. And this is where how you rewrite your handbook. One, the 21 days is one of the most intense programs out there to dynamically change that handbook for you. But it's work, okay? Because you're not borrowing other people's frequencies or abilities, right, to have a better life. You're actually changing your frequencies to sustain a better life, an abundant life. And this is where, if you do it, like tens of thousands have, you get an all-around, I call 360 degree of abundance for you. Your whole life starts to become abundant, not just little slices of the pie. Like there's a lot of wealth out there, a lot of, say, rich people out there, millions and billions of dollars. Look at their family structure. One, most likely have sold themselves again to create that wealth at that magnitude. They didn't do it on their own blessings, right? Again, hence selling your soul to the devil. Look at the Koch family. If you don't believe me, read Dark Money. Amazing, and you'll see what I mean. Right? Look at the Kennedys. Look at you. You've probably sold yourself for a lot less at some level. That's why those things happen. This is about you identifying your own strength. Again, no other program does this for you because, again, I allow you to understand who you are to create the same abilities that I have, because I'm normal. Right? This is our true potential of who we are. Some of you might think I'm, mystical or have I don't know, alien or somebody that has these grand powers. No, I'm actually more normal than you are. A more normal human being because I understand who I am. It's kind of like that Roger Bannister. He was the first person that ran the 4-minute mile. Right? Before him, nobody ran the 4-minute mile. He was all over the paper, world news. 3 months later, there's a few more. 6 months later, there's more and more. Nowadays, you're not a runner if you're not doing a 4-minute mile. So same thing here. Right? It just allows you to go, hey, this is what I can do too. So very, very important. So the levels that I work at that I was mentioning is subquantum level reprogramming. The 21 days. And the reason why your life changes without me, pinning down exactly what's going on with you. I don't need to know what's going on with you. Because one, I don't cure you, I don't heal you, I'm not a financial analyst, doctor, marriage counselor, anything like that. But any area of your life recovers. And the reason being is that same way that I was awakened through 2 near deaths, I help you rekindle that connection between you and your original self. And once that's rekindled, it starts as an ember, a little spark, and then it turns into that big roaring flame. And that's where, you just naturally create abundance around you. Right? And that's why, again, I don't need to know to help you. I don't need to know your issues, because I awaken you, and your higher self knows exactly why, what is going on with you. Although on the private groups and so on, I just do it much faster for you. Industrial groups are after the 21 days. I tap in, I can re-edit that programming for you, just much easier, faster for you. That's all. Okay. Connecting stronger to pure source. It's another big step. So connecting stronger to pure source, or understanding your real identity of who you are. And that's all that is. I use pure source. Some of you might go, oh, it's God. Well, definitions of God from culture to culture, time frame, society, atheists, intelligent scientist types and so on like that. They all have strange definitions. And again, not being egotistical, but none of them are very accurate, very different than what really is. And I'm not saying this out of ego or anything like that, because some of you who are deeply religious are going, oh, he's cutting down my religion. No, not at all. Religion, and I talk about religion because a lot of you come from a religious background, or walked away from religion and now have turned into spiritual beings. Again, another form of religion. So I talk about that. And I'm not knocking down your religion or anything like that. But if you're connected to a pure source, just like Buddha, Muhammad, Jesus, Abraham, and Joseph, and whoever, Krishna, Cyrus, Zoroaster, all those great individuals that are out there, look at them. And there's many more. There's a lot of artists who are pure from a pure perspective, not a distorted perspective. Right? Artists, architects, lawyers, well, maybe not lawyers, just kidding. Doctors, whatever. Right? They come from a pure source perspective. They make amazing. They have amazing lives. Again, 360 degrees. So again, my point was, look at those great individuals, right? Buddha, Jesus, and so on. Look at the results that they got connecting to, because they understood God at a higher level, right? More than anybody of us, right? Look at their lives. So if you understood, say, your God at a higher level, you'd have the same results as they would. And if you're not having the same results, obviously, it's a distorted perception. Okay? No matter what you say, it just is. Look at the bottom facts, the bottom line facts. This isn't about feeling good, having that blind faith that someday, you suffer in this realm, then you're going to feel good on the other realm. Hell no, it doesn't work that way. It just, I see the other side. It doesn't work. People who suffer on this side, suffer on the other side. It's just an extension with no time. And again, those individuals that many of you follow after, they had a ball. They were in heaven in physical form. They didn't have to wait to die to feel heaven. You shouldn't either. Right? Again, it's just a lot of, I'll use a nicer word, distortions that you've been taught. Right? So practice what the originators of those religions practice, and you should get the same results. It's very simple. So this basically helps you connect to your higher self, understand your faith more at a deeper level to get the same results. Okay? By the way, I'm not religious in any way, but this is a very moving, a very spiritual experience, even for those who don't believe in God or, show me, prove me type feels, individuals or atheists, so on, they feel it. So, and what this is really about, yes, the side benefits of awakening us is actually the purpose of what I do as a pioneer of exponential intelligence, a phrase that I've coined for the timeless knowledge that we tap into that brings in your true identity of who you are. right? Plus the abundance that goes along with it. It's really about awakening our human potential. Okay? And I'm not going to get into the project Superhuman. That's probably another podcast, but that's what it's really about. Excuse me, the benefit of all this, of what you do on the 21 days, right, is what we all dedicate our lives to. 90% of our lives or more, slaved away, right, trying to work. Then you retire, and what do you have to show for it? Right, more debt, more unhappiness. Human life was not supposed to be like that. You're not meant to suffer. Look at the individuals, or look at where you came from. You come from a high dynasty, right? A lot of honor of where you came from. If you knew who you were, or if your family knew who you were, right, your true spiritual family, let's say, because again, a lot of you are religious. I'll use religious terminology. Would you allow the sufferings that happen in this world? Obviously, no, you wouldn't. Right? So most of us in humanity, they don't know who they are, what family they come from, the honor that they should have being in that family. So the first part is about letting go. And I could talk on and on. I'm just reading you guys. Okay? So, which actually will help you on the 21 days. So the first part, the 21 days is set up in 3 parts. The first part is about letting go. Identifying all the distortions, some of it I talked about, that you are not. Okay? Second part is recreating the foundation, or recreating your self-image of who you think you are. So a higher version of yourself. And then the third part is solidifying that new foundation, and then creating a beautiful masterpiece of your life with new knowledge, new information, a whole new paradigm on what a human being or human living is about. It's not about slaving your whole life. And then thinking that you retire, it's going to be happy. Again, that's just a bunch of goods that you've been sold. It's not like that at all. And again, to prove it, helps thousands of individuals already. Yes, they do still work, but they're very, very happy with what they're doing, and they're very abundant. So that's how this 21-day program works. I just want to stress the letting go part of it. A lot of detox. Although it's the first day here, a lot of you detoxing from it already. Okay, why does that happen? So let's put it this way. It's, by the way, what I do is all about space and time. At a very, it goes much deeper, sub-quantum theories of, say, space and time. Okay. So the science on that is on my podcast, Xponential Intelligence, and I'll be getting more and more, say, science out there as more and more people are interested on the science side of what I do. But the detox aspect of it is that you have your identity of who you are, right? And then what happens is, say, that you separate your true identity comes through, and then your fake identity of who you think you were. And then that's where the distortion comes. That's where the unease comes. That's where the discomfort of not being, or the frustration, the anger, whatever it is, okay, to push that thing that you don't want inside you out of you. Imagine it this way. You're totally fine, right? You think you're totally fine. And then somebody says, you know what? I'm sorry, the food that you just ate at our restaurant had a lot of bugs in it. What would you want to do? You're totally fine. You ate it. You're feeling fine. But now that you know that there's bugs or whatever, something gross inside you, what do? You want to throw up. You want to, get it out of you, right? Same thing here. You start to awaken, and then you see all the distortions, the trash that's not you, and you want to escape it. Right? To give you another example on the process, because it is more surgical for me as my abilities have gotten stronger, is that I see the frequencies, whether I work on you individually or as a group. I see your frequencies, just like a tumor, right? Because it is a tumor. It's something that's distorting you, right, or killing you, basically, lifetime after lifetime, by the way. And I go, oh, let's remove that tumor, by deleting those programs that you run. You delete the program, and just like the surgery was successful, and depending on how healthy you are, the recovery, for many of you, a third of you, about 30-40%, there's not really a lot of downtime. You just flip, and you see your life very differently in a very short amount of time. The other, 30 to 70%, basically you go through minimal detox to extreme detox. This is where the surgery is successful, but you've never exercised a day in your life. You eat garbage food. You're very sedentary. You're not healthy at all. Well, you go through surgery, and then what happens? It forces you to get healthy. And you have to release all the trash, right? You have to eat healthier, and so on and so on and so on. Happened to my who was it? My brother-in-law, right? Couldn't quit smoking. Has some kind of heart attack. He runs into the hospital. Next day, boom, stops smoking. Right? For him, it's like a lot of pain to stop. So for those individuals that need a lot of pain to stop like that, you're going to get a lot of pain if that's your pattern that you run. Okay? Another thing is that, say there's a lot of darkness in you, or curses in you, or possessions in your family, and so on like that. If you're very superstitious, your family is very superstitious, most likely you've been controlled by something. Okay? That's why they're superstitious. Okay? It's not just because it is. So those individuals who are, say, possessed or distorted or consumed, and my people that work for me, they go, you shouldn't use those words because those aren't politically correct. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. Okay? I see it the way I talk about it the way I see it. Right? It's just like the army going friendly fire. Your son died under friendly fire. Basically, somebody on his own team shot your son. Right? It doesn't make you feel any better. Either way, your son's dead in that example. Same thing here. If you're cursed, distorted, possessed, like some of you are in your family, right? If you have intuitive abilities, if you've made a lot of money, and again, not all of you, but look at the family paradigm. Right? If you're very, very successful, you have a lot of money, you have a lot of fame, some of you out there, again, look at your family. If it's not a happy one, then you're paying dearly for what you've been, say, granted or sold. You don't have to do it that way. Pure source does not destroy you. It builds you up as you accumulate wealth, so you can help others as well. The reason why I bring that up is because as you let go, you get to see all the darkness, the possession, the curses, and all that stuff. Again, voodoo, magic, whatever, aliens and all that stuff, distortions that are in you. Some people go, oh, I worked with Moss, and then all this stuff started showing up for me. It's not me. It's not Xponential Intelligence. Just think of me as a flashlight. Okay? I'm that guy with the flashlight. You've been in the dark all your life. Your family's been in the dark. And now you come by with me, and I turn the flashlight on, and you go, holy hell. This is why your life is the way it is. Again, it's got nothing to do with me. It's got everything to do with your family lineage. Okay, so be aware of that as you go through the process. Again, it's not me. It's all your garbage. So understanding what the 21-day, and by the way, these past few months as we get into the April 20-day recap, very powerful. I've had a few upgrades. If you haven't had a chance, if you're new, there's a lot of good, free, and paid podcast interviews and talks, lectures that I did. So take a look at the website. Maybe we could put it on who's ever listening from my office. Maybe we could put that list up on the newsletter on the website the last 3 months. Very powerful, and you can feel just like you are now the frequencies that I generate for you. So very intense, by the way. So the 21-day recap started out really strong. These individuals were really, really gung-ho. And then it just seemed like the last month the changes were very dramatic, too dramatic for individuals, right? The intensity of change. Now, the changes, sometimes it takes 20, 30, 40 years, or maybe lifetimes, right, to transcend into higher levels. Right? I can do, say, in maybe a couple sessions, for example. These are true scenarios. People have gone to psychologists 20, 30 years. It's a hell of a long time to try to change your life. They come to me about 1 or 2 sessions, or they go to, treatment centers for addictions or whatever it is, right, for months or years, and they keep falling back into it. Again, there's nothing wrong with those treatment centers, psychologists, or anything like that. But the reason, the distortions or why it doesn't work well, it's not what they're doing. It's the underlying frequency, again, those core foundational frequency that don't get deleted. And that's what I do. And then whatever you do on the outside, treatment facilities and so on, you'll see it's a rapid transformation for you. Right? So again, psychologists, 20, 30 years, they come to me 2, 3 sessions. So again, very powerful. So why I said that was you're releasing a lot of, say, patterns, not only of you, but then family lineage. If you look back in your family lineage, your issues are most likely not yours. It goes back, way back, hundreds of years, for some of you even thousands of years back in your family. You're carrying all that DNA structure, just like your hair color, your eye color, and so on, right? Family conditions that you've accumulated through generations. You're carrying patterns of abuse, distortion, ill health, lack of money, or whatever it is. Again, every detail that you call life, there's a frequency for it, or if you want to call it, it's within your spiritual DNA. So as those things get deleted, again, a lot of detox for people. So on these 21 days, very dramatic transformations. And then we started sort of kind of getting stalled at the second phase, the foundational level, this last in April. And again, there was a lot of fantastic changes, but the changes were just too intense for people, so we didn't really quite gel, and we didn't get into, say, that third phase as efficiently as I would have wanted it to. If we would have, we would have gotten, say, a little more distorted than I would like, and it wouldn't have benefited you. So, but overall, the group was really strong. They just needed a little more time than 21 days to really, say, take on the transformations that they received. Okay. And I never really want to rush the process. The reason being is because a lot of times people go, Moss, just get this stuff all out of me at once. You really can't, because it's so distorting for you. You have no reflection on, say, who you are if everything got removed. And let me just give you a quick example. So there's people who, after the 21 days, during the 21 days, they start to forget how to, brush their teeth or comb their hair, or, menial little things like that, or, make a sandwich, peanut butter sandwich or whatever. And it's like, well, that's strange. And then people think, well, I did the 21 days and then, my memory got bad. I had brain distortions or confusion. It's not about that. And there was a scientific story that I posted on Facebook, I believe, about a week or two ago, on how your brain prunes synapses that aren't good for you. right? Or the synapses is basically the more, say, you practice, whether it's good or bad, the stronger those synapses, the connection between brain cells, right? The stronger that they get, so it becomes more efficient. Just like using a muscle that is, you build, the more you use it, the bigger muscle that you get, the stronger muscle that you get. So what happens is that somehow, just like the brain does it, I do it at, say, frequency level. I delete that pattern for you in your brain. Something happens, gets deleted. Right? So what happens physically is that you start to forget how to brush your teeth, and you have to, like, say, relearn it. So the reason why that happens is that, and it's a good number of you. The reason why that happens is that, say, in the mornings that you get up, right? Your family's in chaos. Everybody's yelling at each other. Everything's intense. You're brushing your teeth. It's just like Pavlov's dog. You brush your teeth. You're healing all this commotion, and a lot of you going, God, is this really life? I wish I could get out of here. So now, that could have been 20, 30 years later, right? You're brushing your teeth. You're getting anxious in the morning. Just like Pavlov's dog, right? They ring the bell. They salivate, right? And there's no food. Exact same thing here. So I delete those patterns for you, or I help you delete those patterns for you. So removing those synapses. So along with that was you learning how to brush your teeth as a kid. So that's why it's just like you have to remember those things. So just as a heads up, some of you will feel confused, distorted, not think who you are. You might have to remember where your bedroom is, for example, and you've been in this house forever. All those things get recreated for you because it's a fresh start for you. Okay? And that's how intense. I just want you to be aware of that. So imagine if everything got erased, you wouldn't even know your identity. Right? So that's why we have to do it in steps. Right? Maybe at some time, as my abilities get stronger, we could do that. Oh, and by the way, my abilities have gotten stronger, so I'll just talk about that. And I think the intensity of detox has been reduced as well. And the only way I can give you an example is that, say those magicians, that pull the tablecloth from underneath, a set table, right? And then what happens, say, in the past, my abilities, say, not as intense, I would, say, pull that table cloth out, and then, some of the glasses and so on would get dissettled, fall and so on like that, right? So that's that distortion. Now, it's almost like it's more intense, and I can pull the garbage out of you much faster, right? Just like that magician, pull that tablecloth, and then the plates stay exactly where they are. So that's what I'm trying to get to. Okay? It is a work in progress, and since this is a new technology or frontier, you never know how people detox. Detox is all about your conditioning. It's your rule set. It's got nothing to do with me or exponential intelligence. It's all the way you detox, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But I just want to reassure people on the last 21 days, don't think that you're slow. The April cleansing, again, overall, was deeper than ever. It took longer, but cleansing was, again, much, much deeper, and it helped deepen the foundation for a great future for you, so a solid foundation. So you took more time to clean out what's there. Okay? So again, don't think you're dumb, a slow group, or anything like that. And I can safely say, as we get into what's happening for May, and this is what we're doing for May, is that the people that did the April 21 days, if they did the May, it'll be much faster for them. But even if you don't, you'll see that a lot of confidence. They're a lot stronger, a lot quicker, right? So, let's go ahead and take a nice, strong, deep breath in. And I'll just read a couple testimonials. This is from New York. It says, "Hi, Moss and team. I came to Moss as old, bitten up, sad, lost in many ways person, constantly searching for light, not to be found. Today I smile wide, not hiding behind insecurities, not carrying heavy loads of lifetimes. My work with Moss has also allowed my daughter to awaken and live her life. I love you all. I'm so grateful, so blessed by this tremendous opportunity to meet you, to live every day of my life with frequencies Moss generates. Again, it's your frequencies that I'm helping you generate. Thank you for tirelessly helping me, my family, and humanity. There's nothing more important in this world to create space for healing, awakening, and connecting to pure source. Thank you from Spirit." This one is from Las Vegas. "Hi, Moss Angels. Been wanting to tell you that I'm very grateful to you and Moss for all the things you do to help me and everyone grow and heal and clear. I spent years trying to heal myself, and I have accomplished more in the last 2 years doing the 21 days of Moss work than in the 8+ years before. I have also seen my friends transform in magical ways as well. Life always has ups and downs, but thanks to the work with you and Moss, everything has done a full turnaround, and I'm so happy." So, again, there's tons and tons of individuals. Again, I can't say I cure people or anything like that, but a lot of people recover from their health. Just the same way, you will never heal yourself, whether it's through Western medicine or through what I do, if your internal healing abilities are not awakened. It'll never happen. And that's what I do. I help you awaken your own internal healing abilities. And then magically, a lot of people, they heal themselves without any intervention. And then the intervention that they might have or do have, that works better for them. Some of the hot topics in April, the Waffle House shooting, the Toronto attack, why more crazy things, why those crazy things that happen, people coming out, the divide, right? More light, more dark. So as this, say, strengthening wave, this purity wave comes through, washes over the universe. I've talked about this before, but again, a lot of new people say this frequency wave is, at 100. Okay, your wave, and that's why a lot of you are joining the 21 days. And that's why, because you guys want to get stronger. Some of you join the 21 days, you go, you know what? I don't even know why I'm here, but something told me to be here. That's a good number of you, right? You saw my face, you heard my voice, whatever it is. It's like, I got to be there. You know nothing about me. Happens quite a bit, by the way. A good number of you might have even seen me in your dreams. And it's like, who's this guy? So the reason why that happens is at a spirit level, you've awakened to the fact that, the earth, the universe is changing. It always changes. And you want to take advantage of it because this is a major change coming through. That's why infrastructures have to destroy itself, the old antiquated infrastructure, for a new infrastructure to come in. This is the infrastructure where everybody reclaims their own power. Right? This is the new paradigm that's coming through. Right? We had, the transportation age, the technology, the information age, we're in technology age and so on like that. This is their self-identity age. Right? It's got nothing to do with physical things. It's everything to do with the humanity awakening. And this is the age that we're in. To do that, again, the old infrastructures are coming through, are coming out. So as this wave of knowledge, or new knowledge comes through, say it's got a frequency of 100. Okay? So it's a magnifier wave. You're resonating at 10. Right? You're resonating at a 10. This wave comes through. And now, 100 times 10, you're resonating, and now 1,000. That's a hell of a jump. Unfortunately, what happens is that you're resonating at a 0 or a 1, or let's just say a -10. So wave comes through, you're resonating at a -1,000. So, and this is where it goes back to, the religious concepts of where Jesus, again, outside of the religion, I adhere to his knowledge, again, outside of the religion, where he says, those who have shall be given even more. Those who have not, that which they have shall be taken away. That's exactly what they're talking about. These waves that always wash through the universe. Right? And because of that divide, people get distorted. You'll hear a lot more crazy stories, a lot more crazy deaths, strange attacks. All those things keep showing up at an individual level, group level, mass scale level. And this is why it's happening. So although it's not the end of the world, a lot of us might think it's the end of the world as people start to panic because their identity of who they think they are gets lost. Right? And what do? You fly to comfort, the old patterns, the old ways of things. And that's why there's that divide more than ever now. But the underlying reason is a flushing away of the garbage so we can rise. So it's a great time to be around. What can we do to make this the light stronger is to understand and know yourself. That's all you have to do to become abundant. Right? Strengthening your own spirit. The way to do that, 21 days is actually one of the best ways. By meta healing or other similar practices. But the most important practice, again, you go, oh, well, I've gone to church, I've gone to the mosque, I've done this, I'm on a good road. Probably not. If what you've been doing in the past, look at your life and then compare. So if it's not working out for you, obviously it's the wrong frequency that you're resonating at. Okay? And I'm just guiding you. I'm not telling you that you're doing it wrong. But again, look at the outcome that you're getting. Unfortunately, most of us are doing those things that aren't, say, the best for us. And then what happens is that we do more of it, right? Because we think we're bad people. So I'll go to church more. I'm going to pray harder. I'm going to be nicer, kinder. And then people take advantage of us more and more and more. And then it's like, gosh, we do even more because we think we're even worse off, right? We're even worse people. Again, if it's not working out, do something different. So the 21-day meta healing is fantastic. The podcasts are fantastic. If you want to do it on your own, which you should as well, to accompany, is to identify exactly what your body is doing all the time. So what that means is be aware of the way you walk. Be aware of your muscles as you walk. As you drive your car, notice your hands. Notice your body in the seat. When you're washing dishes, when you're taking a shower, feel the water on your body. Don't be out there thinking on what you have to wear, what you have to do. Stay in your body all the time. When you're texting, notice your body holding the phone as you text. Right? You'll be refreshed the more you use your phone that way, by the way, rather than getting... the reason why you get drained, a lot of people go, gosh, I get so drained, because you're not there in your body. Look at those kids. Look at your kids. A lot of you have kids, right? They're on the phone. Do you notice that they're not there at a conscious level? Where did they go? Same thing happens to you. And then it takes a long time for you. It takes a lot of energy to pull you back into yourself. And that's where you get tired out. Okay? And then you go, oh, I'm too stressed out. My job's stressed out. My husband, my kids are stressing me out. Got nothing to do with that. It's just that you've lost your identity. So overall, all the crazy stories that you're going to be hearing coming up is all great opportunities to see right and distortion. Maze energy, if used properly, again, depending on where you are, will help identify the trash even more, decipher what's ethical and moral, where we can shake conventional moral structure in society. So there's a higher order of morality that's coming through. So what that means is that as May comes through, from what I'm seeing, again, more clarity on what's really right. If you look at society's morals or religion's morals, it changes from religion to religion, culture to culture, time frame to time frame, society, and so on, right? And people hold on to these beliefs, and that's why there's a lot of, religion has killed more individuals than any war combined. So why is that if it's supposed to be a strong moral belief system? Because those moral belief systems, if you're always having to question, if you're always having to find, say, situations, it's like this moral system is good for like 50% of the people, but then, you have to have a sub-law or sub-moral standard. In this case, it's this way. In this case, it's that way. Then you're not at the truth level, because there's always one single truth. There's no exceptions. It happens every time, all the time. And as a society, we haven't gotten to that. So what we're doing in May is clearing out more trash to see what's really moral, to hold at a higher standard, if you want to call it spiritual standard. This is human morality. This is where no matter who you are, what the color that you are, the finance level, the social class that you are, it's all one level of moral standards. Right? And this goes beyond, again, social standards, culture, color, whatever else that dictates morality in the past. It's not really moral. Right? If, again, it changes from season to season, it was never moral. Although we adhere to it. Fortunately, as this wave goes through, it's been burned in us so strongly that a lot of those individuals will die holding on to their old beliefs. So, either way, the path of the wave still keeps coming through, washing out for a new, higher sense of self, and then also humanity's identity. Let's go and take a strong, deep breath in as we go through. And then also for the May 21 day, we'll have the highest participation to date worldwide, which is really powerful. It'll power up the group because my abilities is very interesting. As I get bigger and bigger, the larger the group, the more intensity I can generate for you, which helps you transform much easier, faster. So be mindful of the changes because they are rather quick. Okay? We're going to build on a deep foundation from April. And if you just joined us in May, it's totally fine. It starts where you are. And so, one second here. So if you've been on the 21 days before, it'll start where you left off, although we're going to be doing the same physical things. Again, first, third, second, third, last third, right? Clearing out the trash foundation, more knowledge, because there's layers and layers, like an onion layer, layers and layers and layers that get peeled away to get higher and higher. If you're new, you'll just start where you are at the time, although it might be a little more intense for you, but that's okay. So we're going to build on the deep foundation from April, and then we're going to join forces with nature. So what that means is that, and this is why, again, April was very powerful as well. February, January, because those are winter months, right? It's a dying experience, and a lot of you let go of a lot of old, so your old self basically died. May comes more of a spring, where we start planting. So in May, because I'm going to be starting to attach or ride the wave of nature, because nature has a beautiful program for abundance. It's been there for billions of years. It's worked out over and over again, so you might as well take advantage of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to ride that wave, bring it into the mastermind as a success principle for us. May, a time of seeding, right? Planting, growth. Seeding and planting. So for this 21 days, you'll see a lot of, say, transformations happen for people. A lot of, say, new ideas, new concepts planting. And then as we go into, June, July, that's more of a summer pattern of growth and expansion. And then most likely, say the May participants, June, July, August, so on, they get into the fall season. This is where they start to detox heavier, because we're going to be riding the frequencies, the cycles of nature. So fall is a season of letting go. That humans don't follow that, and that's why we're so burdened and diseased, because we just don't let go of stuff that's rotting in us, right? Whether it's actual physical things, ideas, paradigms, loved ones, they just settle into us and rot. So copy nature. Let's go of all the leaves, all the dead branches, all the dead flowers, whatever, right? No matter how beautiful they were, they're dead. So it lets them go. It allows it for recycling. Winter is a death space. Again, a lot of letting go. Creating rich, nutritious soil for again spring to come through. So those are the patterns of the meta healings that we're going to start following, coming on. So again, really magnifying. It also helps us reach higher collective consciousness, and then obviously recognizing the higher truths and getting rid of those old belief systems. So, also for the financial markets from May, you'll see a lot of deepening or strengthening. From what I'm seeing, you'll see a lot of the stock markets rise. Bitcoin, if you're into cryptocurrencies, they're going to be kind of treading water here and there, and it's not because they're going to fail or anything like that. But when something always starts to really skyrocket, right, or take off, what happens? There's kind of a winding up period. So I see cryptocurrencies kind of winding up for, a fantastic year-end, late summer type scenario, where they just skyrocket. And then that's where it seems like there's going to be a lot of news stories on a lot of more corruption and so on, which starts to question the market, although it'll stay strong till later on in the year from what I'm seeing. It's a great opportunity, by the way, for those who are starting out, say, a new venture. If you're ready for it, if you're not, obviously don't. Political systems, more and more garbage is going to be coming out. There's going to be more segregation between different political systems, countries, and so on like that. Religious systems. This is where I see, say, the Catholic Church bending over backwards to accommodate, and then more, like the Islam type religions, the Jewish religion, they get more stricter on their standards of how they believe. And again, whether they're right or wrong, I see them all wrong, because and I'm not knocking anything down, but it's just bottom line results. If those followers are not getting the same results as the originators, then the church, the mosque, whoever is running those religions is doing something wrong, just flat out. And I'm saying this as a consultant. By the way, I'm not bashing any religion. Right? People would pay billions, millions of dollars, and companies do, for a consultant to come in and go, hey, this is wrong, you're doing this wrong, you could be more efficient in this manner. Right? I'm giving my advice out for free, so they can fix it. But what will happen is that Catholic Church, from what I'm seeing, they'll start accommodating more and more individuals. Okay, just like those people in Utah, Mormons, right? I don't know, a couple of years ago, they allowed blacks to come into the church. There was nothing wrong with blacks before, but now why? What's the difference? Same thing with the Catholic Church, right? Unwed mothers, they wouldn't allow people in. So now they're allowing those. Gays, lesbians, they're allowing those people. So more and more things that were against God is allowed in. And just out of question, right? If it wasn't true, since God is all-knowing, why was it wrong before, and then why is it correct now? I'm just posing those questions for you to help understand the logic behind that. If God, right, it would be true throughout the end of time. It would never change from society's standards. Right? So, anyway, that's the big April or May update. Let's go ahead and take some questions. And there's a ton of people on the call. So if you're new, you can hit *2 if you'd like to raise your hands. We'll try, there's so many people raising their hands. So let's go to Brunswick, Georgia. Hello, this is
Hi, Mas. How are you? Can you scan me, please?
Sure. Do you have kids or sons?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So 2 of them. So whoever.
Yeah.
It just seems like you've changed, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
And now it just seems like your sons are getting forced to change. So that's where you are, which is really good. And then even if they're not doing the 21 days or anything with me, I don't know if I've worked on them before or not, but they're getting forced to change their identities, who they see. Is one of them married or both married, or they seem like
no,
they have?
None of them is married, but one, she found the boyfriend.
Okay. So whatever that is. Okay, so maybe that's the frequency. So he has to own it. Again, there's nothing wrong with that, but just owning that space. They seem like they've been in long-term relationships that have been, say, binding to them. So they're going to start questioning their relationships and then who they are as their identity as well. So, and as that peels away, just like you went through detox, they will as well. So keep on doing what you're doing. Does that make sense for you, hon?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. We'll move forward. We'll go to Modesto, California. Hello, Swans.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, can you hear me?
How are you?
Yeah,
I can.
Yeah, good. I did the last 21 days, and I was feeling really good and still feeling good, but noticing lately that especially today, just extremely exhausted. And I'm wondering if that's part of the detox. What's going on with me? Just scan me, and I'm curious as to what you find.
Yeah, it just seems like, again, you seem like those individuals that kind of have to understand the layout before you start moving forward. Does that make sense to you? So you have to understand the concept, or you have to have a strategy before you go forward. So now, the first 21 days or so, you're understanding the layout of the land, and you're you've created that trajectory. Now you're going to get your hands kind of dirty and start moving things around. Your life starts to change. Although it's been better and better for you, stronger and stronger. Now the physical things around you have to change to accommodate, say, your newer frequencies. So this is where, again, you roll up your sleeves, get to work, get rid of some of the stuff. And it might, as a confirmation, you might be kind of cleaning out your house or trying to, might be uncomfortable with your surroundings. It's like, gosh, this doesn't fit me anymore type feel, right? Because it doesn't. Your new self is coming in. Your old self, that was the old self that generated, what your house looks like. So again, you're going to be deleting stuff, moving things out, getting rid of the clothes that might fit you, but it's just not you anymore. Your identity's changing, and you do choose such fast. So
I actually did move. Already, and I have gone through that process. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I am feeling like I'm starting a new life. And actually, I have one other little concern, if I can share that with you. I actually moved in with my sister because she's got early onset dementia. And I'm wondering if doing this process will in any way help her.
Yeah. Do you have upper back issues, by the way? I was just going to get to the physical things. But,
I do have some neck.
Right between the shoulder blades? Yeah. It starts from there. It just seems.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was working on that. So then,
thank you.
If you adjust that area, again, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but frequency-wise, awakening you, so you'll adjust that upper back and then your neck and so on, will start coming into, a stronger version of itself. For your sister, and by the way, the physicalness of this reality, you're letting go physically of a lot of things. You're also most likely are going to get rid of hereditary patterns, so you don't necessarily have to have mental instability. If that makes sense to you?
Yeah.
It kind of skips generations. So with your sister, you're in there to help her, but if you've noticed, it's a different kind of help, which is really intelligent for you. You've kind of created a boundary around yourself as you help. So you're kind of like in a hazmat suit, because some of your family dynamics is toxic. That makes sense to you?
Yes.
Which you've cleaned out anyway. And now you're helping your sister, just to be honoring. So if you bring her into the 21 days, I'll work on her. And then also, if you just play the 21 days in the background for her, it'll really help her ground her. Was she sick when she was young?
She always had intestinal issues. And I'm wondering if that isn't part of it, the bionome of the intestines creating some of the problems.
So when she was around, again, not diagnosed, just reading her life files, 10, 11, 12, around that time, she seemed like she was taking some kind of medicine that kind of disconnected her from time, which creates, say, dementia. Yeah. So whatever medication she was on or whatever she was given, it was almost like an antidepressant type medication, but it wasn't antidepressants, but whatever she was given had the same side effects of an antidepressant.
Wow.
And antidepressants, most likely, what they do, and this is where the side effects are, more depression or even suicide, is that that person, say, their identity of who they are and their physical form, their spirit and their physical form gets separated even more. That space, that gap gets wider and wider, and then they commit suicide. Your sister it always goes in and out, so she's almost on the verge of, say, wanting to die and then coming back, wanting to die, coming back. Even especially around 18, 20. How old is she now?
She is 67.
Wow. She seems like she lives from her 30s and 40s. So never lived a complete life, if that makes sense. So, so I was pushing her back into herself. So hopefully, see if this makes a dramatic impact on her. For a lot of people like that, because it is a time distortion, a real time distortion, as you put the two time frames together, like where her body is and then where her, say, spirit thinks her body is, as you put the two together, they get rather quick transformations. So hopefully that'll
really?
Bring her in. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Be mindful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She might get quick transformations, but then she'll also remember some things that might have happened that were disturbing for her.
Okay.
So be mindful of that. So that's where you want to keep that momentum going by listening to the 21 Days of the podcast in the background for her. Okay?
Okay. Got it. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. We'll move on. We'll go to Rotorio. It's a web call. It's Hey, whoever you are. Rotors? Oh, sure.
Hello.
This was? Yes, hi.
Oh. There you go. Hello, Mark.
Yeah. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Not quite sure. Can you scan me?
Sure. Yeah. So you're very intuitive, if that makes sense to you. You sense things around you. Does that make sense to you, or no? So what happens though is that you're always sensing things, so you're always on guard. You're always watchful. So you lose the identity of where you are because you're always watching outside of yourself, if that makes sense to you.
Yes, extreme anxiety.
Okay, and then it's like it gets to the point that it's like you come back into yourself for a split second and you go, okay, where am I? Whether you're in the kitchen or wherever, you have to like re-coordinate yourself and go, oh, I'm in the kitchen, and then you move forward. Does that make sense to you, or no?
So it's been happening quite a lot lately.
Okay. Yeah. So the reason why it might be happening as of late, and this is important for other people to understand as well. By the way, if I'm working on her, if you have similar issues, I'll be working on you as well. So the reason why it's important for you to understand that it's happening more and more lately. It's always happened to you, but this time you're becoming aware of it happening to you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So, and this is what happens is that you jump into your body, and then you go, oh, I was out of my body. So more and more often, as you go through the 21-day process, the nice thing is that you'll stay in your body longer time frames. And then you'll notice the difference. And then once you strengthen and are solid, and I'm just working on you to pull you in even more, so you see this life from a different perspective. But once you're strengthened and solid, then you can use your abilities, not to distort you, but then to, say, expand out. And this is where you get future vision. You can see things in people or help people. You can help yourself. This is where inventions, ideas, things like that come about. Right? Because you can expand out into, say, different possibilities, different realities that exist around us. So,
that sounds
sense to you? Yeah. But the way you're doing it now is just like distorting you. You go into another reality, then you come back, and then you just forget where you were because you can't pull that knowledge down, but it's still there somewhere. So, and then also you might get vivid dreams. As of late as well. I don't know if it started for you. It might start. Did that make sense or no?
I usually remember my dreams, but lately I haven't been able to.
Okay. So you'll regain remembering your dreams. Right now, things are shutting down. Your abilities are shutting down because it's reformulating. So don't worry if you feel like you can't use your intuition. It's just reformulating. It's kind of like upgrading your computer. You have to shut it down to upgrade it and then turn it back on. So it's similar to that. Okay. But you'll get dreams, and it's not really dreams. You literally can go into different realities and then bring that knowledge back. And I can help you with that later on. But you need to solidify first. Okay.
Yeah, I'm really flushing at the moment, so I don't know if it's menopause or. energies coming through, but it's really hot.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Flushing at the moment, so I'm not sure if it's the energies coming through or menopause or stuff.
Yeah, so as I work on you, as I say, pull your essence back into you, you might feel what you're feeling now. Think of it this way. You've been, you're in a glass, see, like a vase, and then you escape out of that vase and you just expand out, just kind of like smoke, right? Smoke coming from an ashtray, let's say, it expands out, right? It covers the whole room. That's how you say live all the time, and it's distorting for you. So what I did was just pull you back in to a single, say, space-time, which is your body, because it's in just one space-time. And that's what you're feeling. As you come back in, you're feeling the energies of your own body. So, it's really cool. It's very quick. Yeah. Again, it doesn't take lifetimes. Let's go. We'll take one more. Again, there's a lot of people on the call, so let's go to Greece. Yeah, let's go to Athens. Hello, Swan.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Can you scan me? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So, kind of like the last caller.
Exactly.
Where you were all over the place, and now seems like you're the next version, say, of the last caller. So I think I've worked on you before, or you've done something with me, but you're more solidified in your body. That makes sense to you? You're more aware of your physical presence, but then as you become aware, it's like, well, what the hell do I do now? Because time seems to stop for you, because it feels slower because you're in it more. So it feels like slow motion sometimes. Did that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. So it's just you getting used to what time or how fast time moves.
I don't know if it's slow or fast, because sometimes when I do the medi-healings, I lose track of time. It's like how much time I'm there for 1 hour or more, and it feels like 20 minutes, 30.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, and the medi-healings, well, I distort time for you to help you reprogram yourself. But just regular life, you'll see that time is, it's a little more slower for you. It's like you can, how they slow down, fast moving scenes in a movie, right? And the person like walks around, and so it feels like you see more detail in your environment. And that's why I say, because literally time is slowed down for you. And that's why you're seeing all the details, because you're in the moment. So that'll be part, you'll integrate that, and that's how you live. But you have an eye for seeing detail, much more like microscopic type, which will actually benefit you later on. I don't know what you do, but like a project manager or analyzing things and so on, you'll get to see exactly what's going on or what's wrong with, or reading charts and so on like that. This is where your intuition on, like the stock market, if you read, charts, stock market and so on like that, because you get to see the patterns in detail.
Yes, I love details. I don't know, it fascinates me.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So whatever you're doing, it'll enhance that for you. So for you, it's all about understanding space and time. So I was pulling you into your identity even more. And as you come into your identity, the physical things, you're not going to get stepped on, pushed around. Your mom's not going to distort you or control you or, run her template into you as she crosses over. How old is she, by the way?
56. Maybe it's my father. I feel him more, but it's more of a
whoever's older. Oh, your father? Yeah, your father is a feminine frequency. So is your?
So he might be that. He's 58.
Okay. He seems a lot older. It might be. It's almost. Do you have maybe grandparents that
Yes, I have
raised you?
Yes, they were when I was young, together with me.
Okay.
And my grandfather is passing now, I believe. I don't know which year.
That's the person. So they felt older and closer to passing. So
actually, yesterday he nearly passed. Yeah.
Okay, so it's him. So I didn't know how old you were. But anyway, yeah, let's help him cross over, because as I work on you, it's like this person knocking on death's door, going, "Hey, can you help me here?" So let's help him cross over properly. I'm not saying he's going to die soon, but he's getting to that point. So awakening him, so he knows where to cross over when it's time. And I can say that, but as a confirmation, you'll actually see him. Like if you talk to him or see him, his eyes will feel like a young boy, from what I'm seeing. So he'll relive his childhood days before he crosses over. So it's going to be a quick death for him, a happy death for him. Does that make sense? Because he understands where he's going. So
yes.
There we go.
Lately he wanted to reach out to talk to me, but I wasn't open for that because I don't know.
You need to reach out and talk to him. Yeah, he's totally changed than, I don't know, whatever happened before. But reach out and talk to him, because he's actually like reaching out through you to connect with me. He knows that you've awakened, and that's why he wants to reach out to talk to you, because he knows that you know how to help him cross over properly. So it's not of a distortion type. So reach out and you'll see that connection. And then as he crosses over, he gets to pull all the distorted patterns, family, hereditary issues, all that, out of you as he crosses over and takes it with. So you'll feel, and that's the way death should be. Death never works out here, especially in the U.S. Or other countries, because they don't know how to die. But anyway, he'll pull all that stuff out of you, and then you'll feel even more stronger, and obviously he feels more complete.
But he had an incredible charisma, but it was from dark source. It always distorted him, and I felt it strongly lately. So I didn't want to talk to him.
Yeah, so that's his real self coming out. He was. It seems like if you go back in time, that his youth was really brilliant, and then he got sucked into something which darkened him, and he couldn't get out. So kind of like selling his soul to the devil type deal. But his inner self, his pure self, was always locked in there. And now, as he gets older, it's like, how the hell do I get back out of and disconnect from this contract? And well, he found you, which found me. So, but how many of you out there, again, have done the same thing, right? So, very good.
And one thing more. Yes,
sure.
My big toe, my left big toe, the nail gets into the skin and creates some pain.
That's just something. Yeah, that's just something you might have to do physically, buddy. I don't know.
Yes, I know. I have done many times before, and it keeps coming back. I don't know why.
Seems like you might just have to do a little surgery just to reset how that toe grows.
Yes, I did it in summer, and I talked to you again back in summer. And
really?
Yes, and we worked on it.
I'm not exactly sure. There's no spiritual value underneath it. It's more of a physical thing. So let's see if I can help you. Say, find a physical solution to it.
A permanent one, because...
Yeah. Got it. Yeah, so hopefully you'll run into something. Not physically run into something, but run into something that'll solve that. But again, there's no spiritual value behind it. All right, my friend. Let's move on. All right, guys. Well, got really late. Thanks for being on the call, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was eye-opening. Take care. Notice what you notice. And then start noticing details, what you're noticing. Take care. Bye.
For more information on my programs, please visit masajadi.com. That's MASSAJADY.com.